The final installment in the Dark Souls trilogy brilliantly reprises the original game's mythos, culminating into a fascinating conclusion. By that point in the story, space and time are collapsing after countless cycles, with many lands converging around the dying embers of the first flame. Just like we did with the previous two entries, we'll look at the game's castles and fortified structures, analyzing their environments in detail. Let's begin. The realm's capital is called Lothric, implied to be located where Lordran once stood. This massive castle has a rich history, conveyed through its layout and architecture. It stands high over surrounding regions, protected by tall ramparts. Its network of battlements and towers are manned by an important garrison of knights and soldiers, turned hollow by the undead curse. Below lie many courtyards and habitable structures, hinting at a sizable population. Access to the castle was made via an elevated road, which is now broken. Indeed, the castle was severed from the rest of the kingdom, likely on Prince Lothric's orders. This entrance leads to a cathedral, where pilgrims and visitors were likely welcomed in the past. From here, the lower gardens can be accessed, a place now infested by dark creatures. Here, we find Oceiros, former king of Lothric, who went mad after experimenting with royal blood. Past his room, a secret passage leads to a graveyard, known as the Cemetary of Ash. This isolated outcrop features a bell tower, which tolls when the link of fire is threatened. This is also the location of a circular chamber that serves as the final Firelink shrine. From here, we get a good view of the castle and its foundations, built on a tall rock formation. The upper levels of the castle can be accessed by a narrow bridge, acting as a strong choke point against intruders. Around here, we can find a sunlight altar, the same one also seen in previous ages. Further on, there's the Grand Archives, a repository of knowledge with several references to past characters and lore. The archive's location suggests they were of paramount importance to the royal family, who clearly considered them highly valuable. The main keep sits at the highest point in the castle, guarded by elite knights and barricades. After refusing his duty to link the first flame, Prince Lothric secluded himself here with his brother Lorien, resigned to await the end of time.
Mind you, the mantle of Lord interests me none. The fire-linking curse, the legacy of lords, let it all fade into nothing. You've done quite enough. Now have your rest.
Farron Keep is a ruined fortress, partially sunk in a poisonous swamp. This area has narrative connections to the original Dark Souls, strongly hinting that it stands on the former location of Ula Seal and Darkroot Garden. At the center of the swamp lies a tower connected to an elevated road, which contains a sleeping old wolf. It might be a descendant of Sif, chosen by Farron knights to honor Artorias' legacy. The main keep lies behind a wall and a ruined fort at the far end of the area. This structure is home to the undead Legion of Farron, also known as the Abyss Watchers. Their story echoes that of Artorias, as they guard access to the catacombs of Karthus and the Abyss's influence contained within. This room appears to be an ancient mausoleum, its back wall concealing access to the underground crypt. Deep below Farron Keep lies the smoldering lake. Judging from its geography and the multitude of arch trees, this likely is what became of Ash Lake. Here, the last surviving demons of Izalith congregated, taking residence in an underground temple. They built statues in honor of their ancient brethren, venerating their origins. Without the bed of chaos and Izalith's flame, though, demons progressively died out over time, leaving only empty halls and corridors. Their remains can be found in numerous piles, both above and below the surface. Black Knights are found in these ruins, hinting that they contributed to driving the demons to extinction. Interestingly, a giant ballista towers over the lake, presumably built by men to prevent demons from escaping to the surface. The Ashen One's journey eventually leads to Irythill, a frigid city that was home to moon-worshipping nobles. Its narrow streets and pathways are reminiscent of European architecture, much like Anor Londo. This area has a strong connection to the royal lineage of lords, dating back to Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight. The city culminates in a large church, which seems inspired from a real-life cathedral in Ireland. Here, we find Pontiff Solivan, a power-hungry tyrant who took control of the city long ago. Many of his monstrosities now guard Irythill, as well as the dark clergy of the deep. Above this spot lies the ancient city of Anor Londo, or rather, what's left of it. The city of gods turned cold and dark, its cathedral corrupted by the deep, now covered in filth. At some point, Gwyndolin was defeated and consumed by Aldrich, who controls his remains in the manner of a parasite. Thus, the seat of the gods lost its splendor and descended into a haunting atmosphere. The surrounding geography of Anor Londo is very different to that of the first game, likely because of the convergence of lands. Archdragon Peak is located on a rocky summit. The last descendants of dragons and their worshippers congregate in this temple, which cannot be accessed by conventional means. Its walls show signs of disrepair, hinting at its ancient age. It features a large mausoleum, which architecture bears a striking resemblance to Hagia Sophia, a famous monument of the Byzantine era. Judging from its crumbling state, the structure was likely larger in the past, possibly dating back to the time of the Archdragons. From here, we can see several landmarks, giving us a rough idea of its location on the world map. There's also the remains of a massive archdragon atop nearby mountains, who might have been slain during the war that led to their defeat. Today, Archdragon Peak is guarded by the nameless king, eldest child of Gwyn, who was once banished for his alliance with dragons. The painted world of Ariandel is a snowy area, likely connected to the painted world of Ariamis from the original game. Here, players find a settlement of hybrid creatures called Corvians, protected by a modest wall. Due to the degrading state of the painted world, its inhabitants have been rotting away, leaving the village in ruin. Indeed, this world is subject to a cycle of its own, as described by its last sane inhabitant.
When the world rots, we set it afire for the sake of the next world. It's the one thing we do right, unlike those fools on the outside.
Father Ariandel was the painting's guardian, until he met Sister Frida, an unkindled individual who convinced him to forego the destruction of his rotting world. Their chapel towers over the Corvian village, suggesting Ariandel was seen as a religious figure and a leader. Inside, a secret passage leads to Ariandel's chamber, now confined by Frida. This might have been a prayer room in the past, or a place where the Corvian patriarch held audience. It is here that players face Sister Frida, one of the most iconic bosses in the saga. The church is also home to a young painter of draconic lineage who resides in the attic, capable of painting a new world. Upon reaching the location of the first flame, the rules of reality become twisted as the world collapses on itself. Here, all lands converge into the Dreg Heap, including locations from previous games.
At the close of the Age of Fire, all lands meet at the end of the earth. Great kingdoms and anemic townships will be one and the same. The great tide of human enterprise, all for naught.
Unsurprisingly, the upper level mostly consists of fragments from Lothric, the closest location in the space-time continuum. As players progress down the heap, these fragments become older. Here lie the remains of Earthen Peak from Dark Souls 2, recognizable by its windmills and poison swamp, as well as desert pyromancers. Below lies a massive tree trunk, at the bottom of which players face the demon princes. This area is the original Firelink shrine from the first game, darkened by time. Upon traversing Framt's tunnel, players are transported to the final area in the series, the Ringed City. This fabled town is home to the Pygmies, the original progenitors of mankind, and lies at the end of the earth. The city was a gift from Lord Gwyn himself, along with his youngest daughter, Filianor. It is also said to hold the Dark Soul, and was likely built to contain its power, along with the undesirable Pygmies. The lower level of the city is submerged in dark mud, likely stemming from the abyss's influence and decaying hollows. There, we find a population of winged pygmies, as well as the Purging Monument, a heap of bodies that allows one to regain their humanity. The upper levels, meanwhile, are heavily guarded and retain much of their past splendor. The city seems to have been divided into different sections, likely inhabited by distinct castes. Behind Halflight's church lies Filianor's tower, where Gwyn's younger daughter has been resting in seclusion for countless cycles. Upon touching the egg, she cradles. An illusion fades, revealing the true state of the world. Here, at the very end of time, not much is left but a field of ash, with only a few landmarks still standing in the distance. In this eerie place, players face their final challenge. A duel against Slave Knight Gale, corrupted by the dark soul of man. Upon achieving victory, the Ashen One can return the Dark Soul pigment to Ariandel's painter, allowing her to paint a new world. A world born in blood. If you enjoy my content, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.